Yes, hello everybody, how are you doing? My name is Max Kelly and welcome to one of the biggest full sends that I have ever given. Welcome aboard, and this is the final cross-country race of the season. This is the pinnacle because it's in my hometown of Cheltenham. They say the best till last. And what you're about to witness in this race is several water crossings, extreme mud, and an unbelievably good sprint finish. So stay tuned for that one. And I'm sure you'll be glad to know that there will be no video of me talking about a random shoe this week. We are purely focusing on the racing element. And I can tell you now, I am back from the worst case of man flu ever known to man. And we are finally back out of bed after yet another week of being in bed after that park run, and we are back racing. And the goal today is simple. Let's see how high up this leaderboard we can finish, and it's already quite a strong start. Now, I do know quite a lot of the guys that are running in this race, so I will be ultra competitive and try and beat as many of these as possible. Now, I won't lie to you, but I am pretty crap at cross-country running. However, I am slowly getting better, and you will see in this video I've actually paced this one quite well today because I chose to sit in these first lap or so, and this is a 3-lapped course, and I made that decision just to sit around the position that I'm in now because I want to actually do well in this race. And in the past, I normally bomb it at one of these cross-country races, end up blowing up and firing myself out the back of the race. So we're going to control it in this first of 3 laps. Hopefully then on the second pick it up, and then by the end, if I've got anything left, we are just going to give it an absolute full send to the finish line. So this is approximately 10 kilometers. It's at the Pittville Park here in Cheltenham. You'll see a lot of sections like this which are quite nice to run on. It's hardened, grassy, muddy sort of sections, and then there are plenty of ups and downs where there is thick mud. Then there's a river crossing which is absolutely awesome. Some great footage of that coming up. And then there are a few twisty turny sections as well through some brambles and woods, etc. It's an absolutely brilliant course, and as you can see, the temperature and weather today was superb for racing. About 5 or 6 degrees. Sun was shining. So anyway, I'll be quiet for around 30 seconds whilst you enjoy my heavy breathing. Okay, so my team, we are wearing the orange vest. As you can see, there is a guy just ahead in an orange vest. That is Doug, and there is one more orange vest in front of him. Now that is Ben. Ben has just run a 14:19 this week in a 5K, so I don't think I'm going to be catching him. But I know that Doug and I train together, and ideally I get up to him and overtake him. Also keep an eye on the red cap here with the guy with striders on his back. This is Rob. Rob is a bit of a local legend, very formidable runner. So if I can hang on to Rob, then I think we will be in for a decent race. All right then, first of 10 kilometers, that was a 3:26. Nothing silly, but considering there is quite a lot of elevation and the conditions here aren't exactly optimal for anything like a PB, that's a pretty good start. As I mentioned, I want to keep this smooth early on. We've got plenty of company here, which is absolutely perfect, especially in these cross-country races when, to be honest with you, you're not really racing against the clock. You're just racing against the competitors around you. Look at this section we go through now, one of a few really boggy sections. And at this point, my spikes were absolutely drenched. So those waterproof spikes of mine, well, they're not waterproof anymore. Now during this race I'm going to share some pretty cool metrics about my training and about this race as well, and that's all supplied by COROS because I'm using the COROS Pace 4, which is their brand new running watch from COROS, and I've been part of the COROS family for the past few years now, and honestly it is incredible. The battery life is ridiculous. I've been using this one without charging it for over 2 weeks now, and don't get me wrong, I have been in the Garmin team before and I do like their watches, but seriously, since moving to COROS I am never moving back. COROS have very kindly as well given me a code that gives you a completely free spare wristband. I'll leave that on screen now. All you need to do is add the wristband into your basket as well as the watch, and then you will receive a completely free wristband at checkout. Seriously, COROS guys, unbelievable. Alright, now there's a pack of 4 of us here, and this is probably the most technical, hardest part of this course because it's a straight uphill slog, but the mud in the middle, as you can see there, is disgusting. And then you've got a little left-hand turn straight downhill. Now the problem with the downhill being like this is your spikes have just picked up so much crap on that it just feels like you've got no grip going down, and then you're faced into this sharp right-hand bend over a little bit of a slope as well. So although the on-screen might not actually make it feel as bad as what it actually is, honestly that section was quite tricky to navigate, and if you know me, I am pretty crap at downhills. I much prefer uphills. Keep an eye also on the right hand side of your screen. That heart rate, well, that's pretty much the lowest it gets from this point onwards. And just to prove how hard I am working today, my average heart rate for this race, which is over 30 minutes, is 190 with a peak of 198. And my heart rate is stupidly high. Now I'm not sure if that's anything to do with this horrendous illness that I've been dealing with. I promise you I will not mention that illness anymore, but the heart rate is really high today. Now what we're preparing ourselves for now is something that is absolutely superb, and we've been lucky enough to get a few different angles of this one, so I will now be quiet and just watch what happens in the next 20 or 30 seconds.
Oh, Maxie!
Yeah, well done, Max, you absolute tit, jumping 2 foot straight into there. Seriously, I don't know why I cannot do that. I've done that jump so many times before, and every time I jump into it, 2-footed. It's like a 2-footed tackle. That should be a red card for cross country. Apparently, the technique is to jump in one-legged and hop straight out, but that is literally like a 1.5 foot drop, and I'm not backing myself to go in there 1-footed. So we've gone for the 2-foot approach. Anyway, we get 3 attempts at that river crossing today, so fingers crossed we get better each time, as I missed that bloody slope there. We've lost a little bit of time there.
Oh, hi Jody, all right?
Just saying hello to one of Vic's friends there, and now we're on to the section where there is a little bit more water as well, and those waterproof shoes of mine are not really living up to their name because they're absolutely not waterproof. Now I forgot to mention that we went through that 2nd kilometre in a 3:25, very similar to the first one, and we are very nearly coming to the end of this first lap. Now we are down to 2 of us. It is Rob and I, Rob in the red cap, and we've lost the chap that's behind us. We're going to go a little technical section here through the woods, and then we get into the nice open space. We've had to bump it forward a little bit here because the little GoPro on the top of my head can't quite take a full 10k, so there are a few little sections that we have missed out, but just the boring ones here, because what you can see now, well, this isn't boring. Now that is the 3rd kilometre of this 10-kilometre race, and that was done in a 3:25 as well. I don't really know what's going on with that timer in the middle at the top there. It seems to be a little bit out of sync on this part of the footage, but it does correct itself shortly, so just ignore that timer just for now until we get on to the next clip. I also thought, what better way of spending Valentine's Day than with Victoria, and she came to watch today, doing what she absolutely loves more than anything else, and that's watching me run. Now, all jokes aside, it was nice to have Victoria there, and my mum and dad as well. You'll see them in a second on the left-hand side. Yep, there they are, ginger hair, grey hair, and there's Vic with a camera as well. Anyway, I'll be quiet for another second. So. That was Jake, you could hear, giving me some encouragement there. Nice to see him back from a little bit of an injury that he's had with his Achilles. Good to see him back, and he was on the long run as well on the Sunday morning too. Now, this week has been a great week in terms of training. My normal training volume is around 120 to 130 kilometers every week, but with the last few weeks being they are, I'm actually being sensible for once. So this week we've done just over 104 kilometers with an extra rest day, the rest day being the Thursday this week and the Monday being a very light shake. So as we look forward, training will ramp up quite significantly over the next 2 weeks as we plan for something very big in the early part of March. We've also been very good with sleep this week. We've averaged 8 hours and 9 minutes, which is pretty decent. Not the best, but it's definitely getting better. Now, I've been reading a book all about the Kenyans, Running with the Kenyans I think it's called actually, and it's been fascinating. They talk in there about how the Kenyans average between 9 to 10 hours of sleep. So the previous week I actually managed to average 8 hours 45 per night, and honestly, moving forward, I'm going to try and get as much sleep as possible. Rest and recovery is king, and that is going to be a big part of my training going forward. Forget about all these extra miles and sessions you need to do. I'm just going to sleep more. I think that's going to be the best way for me to actually recover from all these sessions and actually get better as a runner. So added sleep, and don't get me wrong, the running obviously plays the biggest part in it, but just these little percentages, if I can just increase my recovery, then hopefully it'll make me a faster runner. Alright, 5k, that split was a 17:38, so pretty honest, nothing majorly quick, but good enough considering the conditions. Things are going quite nicely. I'm going to settle in and let Rob do some of the work for me. Fair play to Rob, because he has actually bridged the gap between this guy in front of us in the blue. He has actually built us up so much momentum here. I think if I was doing this solo, I would struggle big time. So shout out to Rob there. As you'll know if you've seen any of my videos over the past few months, a big concentration of mine is on nutrition and hydration. Now, specifically hydration, I've been working with a great company called INVIGORATE, and they are owned by Joe and his cousin. Now, instead of me telling you exactly what INVIGORATE actually do for your body in terms of the electrolyte supplement, because I think a lot of people now know exactly just how good they are, I'm going to tell you today how I use INVIGORATE for its advantages. So every single morning when I wake up, the first thing I do, even before brushing my teeth, I will have 1 glass of water mixed with the INVIGORATE electrolyte mix, because it just starts my day off with a bang, and it stops me rushing to grab a coffee, and it's really made the mornings so much easier for me just to get going. Now, in terms of training as well, today's race I took 1 glass of INVIGORATE 60 minutes before this race, because I want to be hydrated during this race. Being a 10k as well, that has quite a big impact. I also don't want to have that horrible sloshy feeling of water inside you, so by taking INVIGORATE's electrolyte, water is absorbed so much quicker into the bloodstream, and it means your water is not sat inside your stomach. And then straight after this race, within 10 minutes of this race finishing, in fact it was within 5 minutes of this race finishing, I was straight onto a 3rd glass of INVIGORATE electrolytes. And seriously, what a difference it's actually making. Now, I know I go on about this, but I genuinely feel so passionate about this. And exciting news is, Joe tells me there is now finally Invigorate branded water bottles coming as well. So I don't have to take it out of my glass. It just doesn't look as good. So that's an exciting thing that's coming. I will leave a discount code on screen now, and that gives you 25% off what is a ridiculously cheap product already as it is. I'm not on a commission bonus, as I always say as well. There are 90 servings per bag, and if you have one a day, that does last you 3 months roughly. Unbelievable value, Jeff. All right, back to the action now, and we've got 1,500 meters to go. My heart rate is at 196. Somebody call an ambulance, seriously. Now, this is the point here where Rob and we have got a serious battle here, because it's like a game of cat and mouse. Who is going to go first? I know he has got a ridiculously fast kick. He's outkicked me in so many park runs before. So we've now got a decision to make. It's literally not far to go. I thought it was a 10k race, and as you can see, old mate here bombing past us. It's now a 3-way battle straight to the finish. It actually turns out that this is 9.2 kilometers. I was told it was 10k beforehand, and it suddenly dawned on me as I looked down that there is not 1.5 kilometers to go. It was less than a kilometer. So I think what's going to be the best thing now for me to do is probably to shut up shortly, because honestly this sprint finish is absolutely wild. About now I was kind of thinking I'm going to give up, but I heard a little mate further ahead, Andrew Prophet, who's a great legend of my running club. Listen to what he says.
Come on! Sitting behind the YouTube coverage, come on! Let's go, Mark!
What a cheeky bugger. Did you hear him? Don't sit behind him for YouTube coverage. That is exactly what he said. I can honestly tell you, I am not doing that. I'm giving it absolutely everything. So I'm going to now leave the last 400 meters of this sprint finish. Check out the speed in the top left-hand corner in the last 50 meters. I don't think I've ever ran so fast. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. You are all legends. Thank you for 10k. I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.
Great, come on.